Hello and welcome to Ask Me Anything. My name is Pat Flynn, here to help you make more money, save more time, help more people too. Here to help you make content creation easier, more fun, and profitable. And today we're just going to chill out, have a little Q&A, and we're going to answer as many questions as we can. Thank you, Quaranteam, for joining me today. If you are here live, say hello to your friends here. If you're here watching the replay, hashtag team replay. Let's have some fun. Let's have a good time.
This is the income stream to help you achieve your dream, all while we keep it clean. This is the income stream. It's the kind of show where you can come and go, but then you leave inspired with no fee required. The income stream with Pat Flynn.
Buenos dias. Absolutely. Bernard, welcome in. Debbie, thank you. Anka, Manos, we got Lisa. Welcome in. Thank you so much. Dr. Dwella, good morning. Save like a bear, what's up? Yes, indeed, we got a great coffee going this morning. Let's put on some beats behind the scenes. Music you're hearing is from and courtesy of Harris Heller, who is a streamer, YouTuber, Twitch personality. He created a playlist of things, as we could see here, and this is called Stream Beat. Created this just for free for us to use for, just for this kind of purpose. Royalty free, love it, absolutely love it. So thank you, Harris Heller, in advance for that, always. So great that you're here, Boris, thank you so much. AV says, oh, Pat Flynn, just might be because I'm watching on desktop for the first time in a week, but your lighting is on point. Thank you, thank you. I've arranged a couple of different things. I had that ice light that looks like a lightsaber behind me to add some trim light, but instead I moved it up front to fill out the other side of my face so it's less dramatic. So if I turn this off, now it looks like we're in a horror movie or something like that, right? So I'm gonna turn it back on. All right, so this is just a general Q&A. When Sue comes in, I'm gonna be reviewing her website, and in fact it's her sales page for her product, but I'll wait till she comes on and I can verify that she will be here. And if she's not here today, then we will wait till she does come on. But I promised her yesterday that we would do it, so I hope that she's up. Ray Edwards in the house. What's up, Ray? Welcome in. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We also have Cynthia and Deborah, Manos, hashtag Sunday Chill Day. That's right. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I imagine someone saying Audio Jungle every 30 seconds, right? Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. We're super consistent. Thank you, Deborah. I'm trying. Horror, that is the season, indeed. There is seasons coming up. I mean, there's always seasons, right? But this is the time of the year where we can create some really amazing content that can do some fun things for us. Like if you are creating stories or TikToks and things like that, maybe you have some Halloween-related ones. With the Thanksgiving season and also Christmas coming up, having some content planned ahead of time related to that can be really great because that's what's on the top of people's minds right now. The other interesting thing is Halloween and Thanksgiving and even Christmas and Hanukkah. It's all going to be very different this year. I'm curious to see how trick-or-treating is going to work, but we'll see what happens. Okay, Sue is here. Sue is indeed here. How about that for music? A little bit better? Let's see, let me turn the music down just a little. There, how's that? Is that a little bit better? I'll turn me up and I'll turn the music down just a little bit. Greetings from Ghana. It says, oh really? Oh really? From Ghana, sorry. I went to Ghana in 2015. We built a couple schools there, which was really amazing. Thank you, Michael. Much better. Fantastic. Sunday vibes, loving it, says Sue. I'm loving that you're here too. So why don't we first, and Destiny, thank you for the super chat. I did see that come through. Good morning, my friend. Great to be alive. I saw a couple questions come in. I'll answer them, and I will then go to Sue and her Facebook product, or her product, I think, which has to do, set up and sell in Facebook shops. So let's look forward to that. But let's start out with a question from Destiny. What are your top 5 favorite marketing books? So my top 5 favorite, I mean, there's so many. First one would be How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's not necessarily a marketing book, but as we all know, marketing is about relationships. So it is actually very, very relevant. So How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. The One Thing by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan. Made to Stick by Chip and Dan Heath. I am also a big fan of Ask by Ryan Levesque. And a lot of Russell Brunson's books, Traffic Secrets, for example, are really, really good tactical books related to internet marketing and business that are really good, even though Russell Brunson is more, you could categorize him more in the sort of internet marketing category. Have spoken with him online before. Very, very good guy, very energetic, and actually does care about his people, which is the like number one thing I look for. But he does play on that line of, a little bit, aggressive versus not aggressive. Other people are just genuinely not in it for the right reasons, but I believe Russell is, and he has a great team behind him too over at ClickFunnels. So those would be the 5 books. Thank you. Save Like a Bear says, I tried to edit a video in time to this, and it was a nightmare, but the music is great. Good, I hope the editing goes well into the future. Let's see, question from Manos. What format template did you use to make the SmartWay ebooks that you have? And what software did you use to make them? I want to play with that format a bit and see what happens. Manos, which SmartWay book are you talking about? Or which one do you have? There was an original version of eBooks the Smart Way, which was my very first lead magnet that came out in 2010. And that was a triple column format. I saw that and got inspired by Darren Rouse, who had a lead magnet that was formatted the same way for photographers. And that was on his digital photography school website. So I just took that format and I got inspired by it. And I love how you're kind of doing the same here and asking questions about it. But it was a bit busy. It was kind of a lot of information crunched into a small amount of space, but I still loved it because it was landscape and it was a little bit different. So that's what would fit the triple column. So 1, 2, 3 on a landscape sort of style. And I mean, the other ones are more single page, but they are formatted. They were using Adobe InDesign. That's what it was. Adobe InDesign. That's what I was sort of searching for in my head. And what we had are templates created for each one. And that way, when we redesign a new one or redesign the old one, we just kind of have to go back in and change a few things around. And so we used InDesign. So take whatever you need from me and get inspired and use it for yourself, for sure. So yes, affiliate marketing the smart way, email marketing the smart way. So those were done in Adobe InDesign. Cool. Destiny says, what's the best $50 you spent on something? After this question, I'm going to go to Sue's landing page here for her product, and we'll review that really quick because that's a carryover from yesterday. But Boris says, what's the best $50 you spent on something that has impacted your life the greatest? Wow. So it was probably a book that was very relevant to what I was doing at the time. And it was by a man named Yannick Silver, another person that you could potentially categorize in the sort of internet marketing space. And the book was called Moonlighting on the Internet. Moonlighting on the Internet. And this book, Moonlighting on the Internet. Sorry, I'm just looking for something here. Okay, that's going. Oh, that's why, because it's not on. I was going to go to the side view for this one, just something a little bit, mix it up a little bit. Come on. Is that coming in? There we go. Hey, chat. So, Moonlighting on the Internet, $20. And it was a book that had a whole bunch of different ways that you can make money online, from eBay to affiliate marketing, like all the things. It was almost like a little encyclopedia. In one section at the end of the book, there was a sales page template. And this was right around the time that I was building my sales page for my lead exam walkthrough, which was the guide that I had on Lead, my Lead website. Lead is an architectural exam that I was helping people pass. And that template, I just copied it word for word. It was fill in the blank. And that template helped me make over $500,000. Even after getting some help from some experts who went in, changed a few things. I hired a copywriter. I split tested the new sales page with a hired copywriter versus the one that I got from Yannick Silver and Moonlighting on the Internet. And mine still outperformed, even though it was short form. It wasn't one of those super long form ones, which is the one we were testing against. And I didn't know how to write a sales page. I didn't know what to say online. So it was really nice to have a template. So I would say it wasn't quote unquote life-changing in the way where it sort of like opened my eyes to something completely new, like a revelation. It was just, man, a solution to the problem I had at the time, which was, I don't know how to write a sales page. So let me just copy this template. I don't necessarily know if that template would still work today. I don't use it anymore because times have changed and what I promote on that website has changed. But it definitely was a beautiful $20 spent that had a very, very high ROI, that's for sure. Cool. Moonlighting on the Internet. Indeed, that's what it was called. So let's take a quick moment to thank Sue for being our next case study here for our website reviews. This is a carryover from yesterday. This is the only one that I'm going to review today because Saturdays are normally meant for this, but I was having some trouble getting Sue's link yesterday in the chat. So we're gonna go in to her website today. And this is a sales page, mind you. It's different than a home page. Speaking of sales pages, I didn't even know this story was gonna be perfectly carrying over. But a sales page's job is to help people understand what it is that you're offering, to help them get to a point where they're making a decision. A lot of times people are defaulting to doubt online, so a sales page also needs to prove those doubts wrong, to share things that would help people and convince them that this is something worth going into. Really, really important though, we need to have a really clear understanding right up front of who this is for, the problem or the pain that you're solving. Then we get into the amplification of that problem. It's somewhere on that page. It's funny that Ray Edwards is here because he is a copywriting master, the godfather of copywriting and sales pages. And if he happens to still be here, Ray, you're more than welcome to offer some advice too. But you've done enough and you have a lot on the podcast, the Smart Passive Income podcast, to help out too. But then we state the solution and we get into the ask and the call to action and all those sorts of things as well. So Ray is here, by the way. So Ray, you can grade me after this to see how well I sort of analyze this sales page that we're about to get into. So here's the sales page from Sue. I would imagine that the first thing that stands out are the colors to me. And the colors definitely speaks to, I think, who this audience is. If I were to guess who this audience is just based on what I'm seeing right initially here, I'm seeing, obviously, gifters, bakers, crafters, makers. And it seems to be a little bit skewed toward a female audience. And maybe that's what you're going for, but the pink and the yellow and those sort of pastel type colors definitely kind of lean into that a little bit more. So if that's indeed who you're looking to attract, then well done. So gifters, bakers, crafters, makers. Wondering if now's the time, ... to start making money from your handmade crafts. With all eyes turning to online purchases, your opportunity has never been greater. But how? Well, that's actually really, really good. I love how you, number one, connected me to who this was for already. If I'm a gifter, if I'm a baker, a candlestick maker, crafter, etc., we are able to understand, okay, well, this is for me. I also like the idea that this is very relevant or very current, right? With all eyes turning to online purchases. That's such a strong way to say, hey, online marketing, online purchases are like hot right now. And I hope that you're getting involved with this, right? Which is really cool. What I think could be changed is we need to know what is the ultimate outcome here, right? So the thing that we want people to know that this is going to help them make money. And it's interesting because that's the part that is the smallest font, right? So that's the part that's the smallest font. You know, this is not Suviscara. This is Gift Biz Unwrapped here. 99% female audience. These are my brand colors. Cool. The other thing I will say is that there are many different kinds of fonts that I'm seeing here. So I see a serif font here, a smaller serif font, an even smaller serif font, and then I see a sans serif font here, and then a smaller serif, not sans serif font here. Serif means like decor on a font. So there's a lot of that. That would be the only thing design-wise so far that I would comment on. A little bit more consistency in font size, and font type goes a very long way. When we start mixing up a whole bunch of fonts, this is just sort of a design tip, it starts to feel a little cobbled together. It starts to feel a little like a bunch of Frankenstein pieces kind of put together versus one cohesive design, if that makes sense. Ray Edwards, message deleted by the Google moderator team. I'm sorry, Ray, I don't know what you typed there, but and I would doubt it would be like a whole bunch of explicitives coming from you, but I don't know why Google deleted that, Ray. If you want to retype or try to reposition that in some way. But that's kind of my initial thought there on that. So Facebook has recently introduced a new version of Facebook Shops that presents a huge opportunity for you right now. I love this. So you shared who this is for. You shared what this is about, helping you make money. That's what we need to make a little bit bigger, more prominent. It is in the yellow spot here. It almost I mean, the colored spot has to do with what people are sort of looking to get and achieve here, which is okay. This image definitely looks a little Christmassy, which is cool. But it would be nice if like the image somehow captured, like if I was I don't know, let's just say, for example, if I did stamps, right? If I did stamps, the music today, EJ, are we good with the music or not? Oh, the music went up again for some reason. All right, hold on. I might know what's going on. When I share, I'm gonna check my music. There we go. Okay, we're good now. Cool. Okay. It gets loud when I screen share, I notice. But I think we're good now. Okay, so this image here in the middle, it looks like when we're on you, the music's loud. Ah, okay. I think we're good now. Thank you. So this image may not resonate with me as much as it could. If I was somebody who was doing stamps and I was selling them on Etsy, for example, I wouldn't really see myself in here. It almost seems like it's too zoomed in. The thing that stands out to me most are the marshmallows and the hot chocolate. So I would prefer personally to see maybe an array of different kinds of things that would be something that would relate to a gifter, something that relates to a baker, something that relates to a crafter, something that relates to a maker. I love how that rhymes, by the way. So that way I go, oh, there's a little bit of me in this image. This must be for me. We don't want it to disconnect. We want it to connect, if that makes sense. Facebook has recently introduced a new version of Facebook Shops that presents a huge opportunity for you right now. But with most things Facebook, it's confusing with lots of hidden parts and pieces to figure out. So I've done all the work and take you step by step through setting up your Facebook shop. Not only that, it's one thing to get your shop up and running, but how do you attract customers to buy? Love it. So I love what you're saying here, but I think we can go even deeper with it, especially this part here. You've done all the hard work. Like the idea that you're making this easier and you're making this, step by step, push button easy is the big draw here, right? We want to make sure that, and this is great that you're talking about this, when there's new things that Facebook comes out, for example, with it can confuse a lot of people, especially with this particular audience, I would imagine, especially if it's a little bit more older of an audience. I don't know if that's the case. You might attract a much younger millennial type of audience in the craft space. But generally speaking, online crafting, DIY, that kind of stuff tends to skew a little bit older, in which case a lot of technology related things can scare off a number of people, right? So I love that you're talking about that, but I think we can go into and even highlight how much easier this is, and in fact, how easy is it? How long will it take? This is what is likely going through a person's mind. So hopefully you maybe cover that as we scroll down. I love the name of it, Set Up and Sell in Facebook Shops. I already want in, only 27. I love how you also included a button here already. Just maybe what you've said is spot on so much that I already want to buy. So let's imagine that I'm curious and I want to buy. Okay, so did that open in a new page? I think it did. This looks like a very nice form. Is this Samcart? Or is this a lead page? It looks really good. Set up and sell. You have a graphic or an image. How to set up your Facebook shop and attract customers to purchase. A great place to begin if you've never sold your handmade products before, and provides existing businesses an additional sales channel. Great, you casted a wide net there. We'll talk more about the order form in just a minute, but for what I'm seeing right now, the only other thing I would recommend putting on here would be some sort of testimonial. A testimonial on the right-hand side with how you've helped somebody or something like that. Yeah, I recognize Samcart. Samcart makes it super easy. So, love that you have a secure order form there. It is in fact secure. I can see the lock in the URL. And again, this is the point at which a person's gonna go, okay, do I really want this? They may start to doubt themselves. So you have a little bit more of what's inside. And then I would say, privacy, security, need help. This kind of stuff is not as important. I mean, it is important, obviously, but right underneath what they're getting, I would have a testimonial of somebody who has used this product primarily, if that's possible, somebody who's used this product first. And if you don't have a testimonial from somebody who's already used this product, number one, you either try to get one or have a testimonial about somebody who has worked with you. It doesn't have to be about the product. It can be about you. There's just something that we have to do like that on a testimonial page or on a sales page to uncover those doubts again. Let's go back to the sales page. This may all sound great, but you're thinking, see, now we got more size font, different size fonts here, tiny sans serif fonts. This is too small. I would love to see this blown up a little bit. I like the icons. I love how you're crushing the objections. I teach that so much. A person's gonna go, my days are jam-packed. Where would I find the time? Perfect. Tech trips me up and I don't know anything about running an online shop. Perfect. I would put those in quotes because that will connect it to the person who you are speaking to. Little bit bigger font here, and then see here's the serif font again. And if you haven't started your business yet, guess what? No website required, no plan to collect money. I don't know what that means. No plan to collect money. I would say here I would rephrase this. This looks like an image. And if you haven't started your business yet, guess what? First of all, I love that you're mentioning that because that's what's on somebody's mind. It's almost like a fourth one of this. I don't even have a business yet. Well, guess what? No website required. I would say you don't need a website. You don't need to see this middle one doesn't make sense to me. No plan to collect money. I don't know what that means exactly. Yas mess. If you want to see a video, just look up Income Reports Pat Flynn, and you'll see a video about exactly why I stopped them. Number 3 here, not even a formal business registered. You don't even need a formal business registered. All you need is your desire and willingness to act. And your desire and willingness to act and invest in yourself, I would say, would be a nice sort of add-on to that, Sue. Introducing Set Up and Sell Facebook Shops, just $27. This is your step-by-step tutorial to go. Okay, cool. I love it. I've structured the information to be a 5-day challenge, but you can speed up or slow down. Cool. I'm so excited. I just got my first order from a stranger. Think of how it will feel. Cool. I love that. A little bit of future pacing there. Yeah, again, on this language here, I don't even know. I would say maybe just remove that. Even what EJ is saying here, perhaps no way to collect money from customers. I mean, that just makes it seem like, well, wouldn't I want to collect money from customers? Maybe it's just you don't even need to know how. You don't even need to purchase a third-party product in order. I don't know. I'm just struggling with that language there really quick. In this no plan to collect money, that's confusing to me. What's up, Critton? Great to see you here. I think it's don't have a plan to collect money. I don't know. Again, what's up, Garrett? Good to see you here. So let's scroll down a little bit more. Click here if you're ready to set up your Facebook shop. Cool. And then here we are about you, which I love. I would have this image a little bit bigger and brighter. I see that you are in black and white here for some, like the whole rest of the page is colorful. It's beautiful. And then it's like, now you're in black and white. It just, I think that this should be color. It should be bigger, bolder, and just a bright smile. And it's just interesting how you have it black and white. It's almost like, well, what are you trying to hide, or what's wrong? Why are we black and white, right? Can we chat as friends here for a minute? I've talked with so many women who make unbelievable products and have been thinking for years about starting their own business, yet they don't. I get it. Life gets in the way. The challenges of time go into the objections again. That's really smart. I love that. It's scary. You may not know the first steps to take, and that's why I'm here. You don't have to do this alone. Awesome. What others are saying. Great. Here's a rundown. So now we get into the details. Perfect. Man, you got all the pieces. You got all the pieces. Timing couldn't be better. Yeah, the different fonts. Here's some FAQ. See, this is a beautiful picture here. Now, it's interesting how the first time you introduced yourself, you're like in black and white, and there's a lot of this distracting border around you here. This image right here, this, especially with the colors behind you and and then here's again another font. Access to sell and set up. Cool. I'm seeing what it looks like on the inside. I'm in. Now the only thing here, the only thing that's missing here, Sue, and hopefully this has been helpful for you to sort of hear, is what is the reason to get this now? You mentioned that this is now the time, but what happens if I don't take this opportunity now? I didn't see any information about what would happen if I let my fears get in the way, or if I'm just too reluctant or too scared of the technology. This is what Ray Edwards calls the amplification of the problem or the pain. So there's also no reason to buy now. What is stopping me from just going, oh, well, I'll get it next week, right? So I don't know if there was something that you could do to include some sort of incentive. Maybe this is something that you create a campaign for so that, hey, by next Monday, the price will go up. So now there's like, we need a reason to buy or else nobody's gonna buy. This is really important, right? So there's many different ways to include scarcity, whether it's a bonus that goes away or a price that goes up or something like that. There needs to be some reason though. That's our job as marketers, is to help people understand that this is a decision that they should be making. You can use that power for good and you can use that power for bad, but you should definitely use that power. If we don't, we're not doing our audience that service that we could, which is helping them get into what could actually help them. And the thing that you're creating here could actually change a person's life. So it would behoove you to share a little bit more and not be necessarily aggressive with it, but just be very clear and upfront about what would happen if not just a person gets this and it works, but what happens if they don't take this opportunity right now. I'm just flabbergasted at how well that works when we focus in on that and do that. So awesome. Okay, great. Excuse me for 1 second. I'll be right back. Hello, I'm back. Cool. He eased that word in right there. Thank you. Oh, yes, we got the secret word in there. Cool. Let's answer some questions for the next, let's answer some questions. Cool, music's still going. What's wrong, Lex? What's wrong, Lex? Escape of the Pat, part 1. Cool. So thank you again, Sue, for being on the chopping block here. I was very happy that we were able to get some time, and you know, this was very relevant because we didn't review sales pages yesterday at all. All right, let's get into some questions. I won't be able to answer all, but I'm going to answer as many as I can. What are your thoughts about FAQ pages? Should every website have one? I was thinking about adding one. FAQ pages are great for several different reasons. Number 1, you're answering people's questions, especially the most frequent ones. Number 2, it can help reduce the amount of emails and messages that you get. If you happen to continually get the same question, it would behoove you to create a page where you have answers to those questions up front. I would include it if it's going to be on your website, on the contact page, or on an actual FAQ page. It depends on the company and the product, but I think for you with your travel website, an FAQ page would make absolute sense. What kinds of vacations, what's price range, what's it like working with you, what if the vacation doesn't work out, all these things that you know that are on people's minds, address them, and that way they're taking that time to answer their questions kind of on their own, and you've done a lot of that hard work already. FAQs are great too because they can lead into sales. If a person's asking a question and then you answer that question, you can in fact include a link to something that would be even more relevant or answer that question even more deeply. I also like the idea of FAQs in a more bigger sense. There might be the ability for you to answer specific questions in their own one question per individual blog post. And what's nice about that is if it's a question that people are typing into Google, or you might find this question on a place like answerthepublic.com, you might even get ranked in search engines for that question and the answer, of course, that comes with it too. Cool. Scooby Life says, I'm getting ready to upload our Paul Venture video to YouTube. Is there a way to add Streambeats background to that video? There are a couple different ways to do that. I don't know if that's necessarily the intention, but I think that is within the terms for Streambeats because it's just royalty free and anybody can use it. And I think, and I would imagine that that's going to be okay. But the way that you would do this is you could either screen record and press play and capture the audio that way, and then you just don't use the video, you can just use the audio. So that's one way to grab system or computer audio that you can use elsewhere. Be very careful with that. We don't want to use things that aren't ours, of course, in that way. Or you can just look up YouTube to MP3 on Google, and there are a number of tools out there that you can download YouTube video music and put them and use them as an MP3. Again, just keep in mind all the legal stuff. Or yes, I can beatbox over it too. All right. Let's see. Does anyone know where Pat lists the websites he has reviewed? I don't list them anywhere, Sue. If you just go into the Saturdays, it's kind of random, so I don't have the time to go back and write them all down in a particular spot. But I might get to the point where I will take some of them and pop them into its own YouTube video here on the channel so that people can watch some of these things later. Maybe I can have somebody go in, because again, I don't have the time, but there's a lot of themes that come in these different website reviews, and I can pull, hey, the number one mistake people make on their website, and I can just set it up as, hey, here are 5 examples of people making the same mistake, and then here's what we can do to get out of that. Question from Dawn, do you have a simple PDF guide to help with clarity, not paralyzed? I usually just choose something to do, but want to focus more. I know you have covered this. Yeah, I've definitely covered focus several times. We've talked about it here on the income stream, and in fact, that's where I would recommend. If you look up the income stream and focus, you'll probably find 1 or more episodes that we've done about that. There's a book also that I recommend called The One Thing by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan. It's something that I've covered in a workshop before, so if you're an SPI Pro member, you do have access to that. And that focus is really key, though. I think that when it comes to the work that we do, oftentimes we just do things because it makes us feel like we're making progress and it keeps us busy. But unfortunately, a lot of times, 80% of that work just does 20% of the legwork, and we have to reverse that. We have to find the 20% of stuff that we do that is moving the needle forward most of the way for us. And hopefully you can find some more content there too. Lawrence, hey Pat, is this good to create subdomain from main domain to use as a landing page? And thank you page. Note, the main domain did not install WordPress. What are your thoughts? Great question, Lawrence. So if you have a main root domain like smartpassiveincome.com, would it make sense to have a landing page be, salespage.smartpassiveincome.com or courses.smartpassiveincome.com? To be honest, from my own experience and my own opinion, I found that subdomain versus an extension of the root domain is not of a big deal as it used to be. Domain names and the .coms and the versus .nets versus .ios versus .co, all these things are weighing less and less in terms of what actually happens, especially when it comes to Google. I think for organizational purposes and for just back-end systems, subdomains, subfolders could work really, really well. But sometimes it's just as easy to have smartpassiveincome.com/courses, and that could be easy too. That's generally speaking more likely a person is able to remember that, because then the root is always remaining the same. But I have courses.smartpassiveincome.com connected to Teachable because Teachable makes it that way. And even though the hosting of our courses are elsewhere, it still includes the domain name in there, so it is on brand a little bit more. The Trekking Couple. Our YouTube channel recruits drivers organically to our niche. It's a one-time payout. Pretty successful, but no residuals. Any ideas to create other ancillary passive income? So oftentimes you can get people in to purchase something, and then hopefully you can collect their email address, or you are collecting their email address up front or after purchase. And that's great because you can take some of them, not all of them are going to do this, but some of them may want to join a community. Because I know that, especially for truck drivers, it may feel very lonely out there perhaps, or it would just be great to connect with other people and to form some sort of community. Maybe we can set up moments where some of our truckers can meet each other in certain locations, or they happen to be driving past each other and can meet up at a certain truck stop to have a conversation or what have you. A lot of times people come for the content and they stay for the community. So there could be a really cool membership type thing that you could add on top of your initial offering, whether that's a low or mid-tier monthly or annual payment, or something that they just pay one time to get access to, but that could provide some other incentive. And that way, it's not even just about the content anymore. It's not like you have to add even more content. In our surveys, when we ran a survey leading into the launch of SPI Pro, which is our community, the number one thing that people wanted was connection and networking. The least thing that people wanted, the lowest thing, was more content. So there's some ideas there. Number two, sometimes instead of finding new people horizontally, so now you have truck drivers and maybe you might be thinking, oh, maybe I want to do delivery people or people who do delivery vans or just go local delivery versus sort of cross country. Maybe you want to go vertically now. So you have this initial offering. Well, what else might be a proper solution for them for another problem that they have? You could survey your current list and go, well, what are your other problems that you have, or what are the other pains? Maybe it's a second product that you then insert into the email sequence so that after they purchase, you know that 1 month later, you've nurtured them, they've gotten some results, you drop in product number 2. Maybe you run a little beta program with your current list of customers so that you can see what people are interested in and what would be validated or not validated, so you can create something from there. Question from Marla. What would you say is the top 5 struggles you see online creators make in aligning content, skills, and outcomes and flow of their course? Thanks. I think the number one mistake for sure is just getting in our own head, not thinking we're good enough because we're playing that comparison game. The comparison game is going to crush you. The comparison game that we need to play is not against other people. We can and should be getting inspired and motivated by others. But the comparison game that we should be playing is comparing yourself to yourself last week, to yourself last month, to yourself last year. Because when you can compare, you can then understand, are you growing? Are you honing in on your skills? Are you getting better? The other thing is working on too many things at the same time. This idea of focus, which we just talked about, is interesting because it pops up time and time again. We entrepreneurs, we have squirrel syndrome. We love these new bright, shiny objects. And unfortunately, most of the time, that takes us away from the things that we've already said yes to. And the truth is, when you say yes to something, you're also saying no to something else. Probably something that you once said yes to before. And it becomes this loop of just trying new things and never finishing or following through to a point where nothing gets done at all. And then we see a drop in our energy because we're not getting results. We then see other people because we're playing this comparison game and go, wow, they're doing it. I tried that and it didn't work for me. It might not be right for me. I guess I'll go over here and try something else. Or I'm going to give up. And we don't want you to give up, of course. Speaking of giving up, a third mistake that a lot of people make is giving up or not being patient enough. A lot of times people leave or try something new or give up right before that inflection point. The point at which growth is about to happen is the point at which they just give up. And there's this thing called the dip, which Seth Godin has talked about and has written a book about, this idea that there might be a lot of energy that you might have for something up front. And then there's a dip because it starts to get hard. You're not seeing those results right away. But then that's the dip. The dip, you can come back out of that if you choose to. When it comes to results in your business, maybe at the start you have this beautiful launch. And then boom, mid-launch, there's a dip. And then bam, at the end, you come out of it even stronger because most people are buying at the end of these launches. So those are some of the biggest mistakes that I see entrepreneurs make for sure. Number 4, trying to do everything on their own. Not only trying to do everything, but trying to do everything on their own. Yes, especially in the beginning, you might be bootstrapping. You might have to wear all the hats. And if that's the case, then that's great. You're learning a lot about all the different pieces, and that's what I did too back in 2008. But there comes a point where you have to make a decision to either stop doing some things, letting go of them so that you can focus on the things that are working for you, or hiring out or getting help from others. And there's a sense of pride that comes with entrepreneurship, which is great. But unfortunately, that holds us back sometimes because we go, I don't want others to do these things because only I can do them this way. Or, well, then I'm weak if I offer this help to somebody else, or if I want somebody else to do something. That's a sign of weakness. No, in fact, it's a sign of strength when you understand what your weaknesses are and you hand those things off to other people too. And number 5 is not just not getting help, but also trying to not do this with anybody else around them, meaning they're not networking. They're trying to hide behind their keyboard when in fact building relationships is the key to growth in all different kinds of ways. And I used to be somebody who was like, you know what? I'm going to be just solo behind my keyboard. I don't want to go to any events. The whole reason of getting online is so that I can be comfortable in my home and never really speak to anybody, but I can just blog all day and make connections that way. Man, I got to tell you, the more relationships I have made, the more relationships that come up from the work that I do online, the better the results. The more opportunities that come my way, from being connected to people who might have book publishing opportunities, to being a guest on another person's podcast, to finding somebody who has a skill that I absolutely don't know anything about, who I might be able to hire or get inspired by, etc. So those are the 5 things that most entrepreneurs struggle with. And I might clip that for a YouTube video later. Your video on Google Sheet to organize content was excellent. I'm inspired now. Your way is much better than how we do it at work. Thank you, Grandma Goody. I just wanted to put something super easy together. If you don't know what we are talking about, go and check out the last video that I published. I've been publishing a lot of sort of pre-recorded videos now in addition to the live stream. I forget that there's a lot of people who don't have the time or don't want to watch a 1-hour show, but would much rather download a 5 to 10 minute piece of content. And I created a nice little form for you that you could see in my latest video to help you organize your content so you can plan ahead of time and go back to the past and get content to link into your new stuff. And that has been really helpful for people. Sue, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. I appreciate you. I'm glad that this review was helpful, and hopefully that advice will help you get many, many more dollars coming your way. So yes, that video, there have been a couple questions and comments in that video saying, hey, this is great, but Google Sheets, I mean, why not use something like Airtable or Trello or Asana or something like that, another project management tool? You can totally use that. My goal with that video was to show you how to do it for free and that you have access to these things right now. So hopefully you can see that. I love doing those over-the-shoulder videos. I'm gonna do a lot more of those over time here, because that is in fact a strength of mine that I've sort of let go of for a while here on YouTube specifically. Just, hey, look over my shoulder, let me show you how to do something. Those are great videos too because they work really well with the algorithm. When you think about it, when people are following a process, especially when it's sort of over the shoulder in the computer, what happens is people pause them, they're on that video longer because they're doing it with you, they rewatch it because they want to do it again, they didn't catch something, and they're very shareable because a person may get a result right away from that and want to share it with others too, more likely to get liked, more likely for people to go, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I was looking for. So I'm going to do more of those because that is something that is a strength of mine that I've sort of let go of, because for me, it was just like, oh, they're not as fun to do anymore. But you know what's more fun? Helping people. And that's kind of what I forgot about these kinds of videos too. Grandma Goody says, could we use a sheet like that to group source tracking all the themes from all our days of the income stream to make it searchable? We could, for sure. We could do that for sure. I had this product idea of getting like a bed sheet and just printing like a spreadsheet on like a bed sheet, and I would just call it like, and I would have like Google at the top or something. It'd just be my Google sheet, and it's, sorry, that's dumb. Okay. That was really helpful. Love free tools. I think business owners can spend too much money on apps sometimes. That includes me. Oh, amen to that, for sure. All right. Question about SEO. How to rank higher against a site from social media, e-commerce, or forum? What can I do to outrank them? Any tools that I need? What I would really do is not necessarily see how you can outrank them, because a lot of times those websites come with way more clout. And it depends on what the keyword is, obviously. Some keywords are going to be virtually impossible to outrank others with. So where I would focus are, what are the longer tail keywords related to that? So maybe the word that you're trying to sort of rank for is, email marketing. And wow, there's all these other places that talk about that. And these pages have been around for a while and they are very strong. However, you might benefit from targeting instead email marketing for beginners, or email marketing tools, or email marketing questions. And therefore, you will be able to have less competition to work with. You can focus in, yes, on a smaller volume, but because it's a smaller volume, a lot of these big boys aren't optimizing for them. And even though they might be ranking for them right now, you're gonna fully optimize and have the keyword in the title for that longer tail keyword, the keyword in the description or in the first paragraph of your article, and also have really good content, right? That keeps people on that page, that gets people to share it, that has social signals that develop over time. And that's how you can outrank the big boys on the smaller but still voluminous keywords. And that way you're sort of taking advantage of what they're already sharing, but also you're optimizing it fully. Cool. Question from Peasant Uprising. How easy or difficult is it to change WordPress themes once you have already built up your site and placed content on the site, considering changing prior to launch? One thing that's cool that you can do is you can set up a new theme or install a new theme on WordPress and then preview it so you can see what it looks like. And then you can determine, okay, is this going to be a chore for me to sort of customize to the new theme or not? In many cases, back in the day at least, when I was in there myself, and I would imagine it's still somewhat the case, but back in the day, it was just super easy. It would literally just, the content would remain the same and the categories would remain the same, just things would be shifted around, colors would change and styles would change, and that's it. And everything else was beautifully just the same as it was, just looks different. And with just a push of a button, really. And now, especially with how customized some things are, maybe it's not quite as push button easy, but you can at least determine to see, okay, are things going to carry over into the new site well? And if I do go into the new site, what things would be missing, or what kinds of things would I still need to add on? Maybe the logo disappears because there's a new container for that and you'd have to re-upload it, or it's a different size, what have you. I would do a preview first before to see if this would actually work. But yeah, WordPress themes technically are easy to change. You just install the new theme and then go use this theme. The point of these themes was initially to be able to switch them instantly. However, now with block building, it's not as easy. Yes, indeed. Question from the Corner Cutter podcast. Okay. Let's see here. I'm waiting for this question to pop in. There we go. I was wondering if your views on BLM have changed at all over the past few months. No, I've just gotten even stronger with that. And a lot of these things that I've been doing with BLM have been internal with my team. We have a weekly meeting about anti-racism within our team. We are fully focused on inclusivity within our brand, especially when it comes to the content and the people who are featured. And we also just want to be a good leader and demonstrate for others. If anything, we've been leaning more into it than anything. Thank you for asking about that, by the way. Miss Boyce, Pat, question. What did you do to celebrate when you first created your email marketing and first lead magnet? What did I do to celebrate? That's a good question. I don't think I did celebrate, to be honest, and that's unfortunate. I think that most entrepreneurs should benefit, or should, celebrate when even small milestones are met. And the reason is because what this does is it creates a little reward system in our reptilian brain where we feel good about accomplishing something, following through, and we should celebrate, go out to dinner, eat a cake, go on a walk, whatever your form of celebration is, do that, because that makes a connection in your brain to feeling good after you've done something like that, and it'll make you want to do more and more and more of that. Oh, political. Anti-racism is great. BLM, the group, is violent. Okay, sorry, I misunderstood that. Anyway, we can talk more about that later. I don't want to have this turn into a giant discussion about those sorts of things, but we're doing what we can to make a change and allow voices to be heard on our part. How far in advance do you book guests for your podcast? So currently we are, let's see. Let me take you into the spreadsheet. So we're going to go into our podcast 2020 spreadsheet. So this is a similar spreadsheet to the one that I created in the video recently with guests, and you're going to get a preview of what's coming. So currently it is October. So as you can see, we're recorded through all of October. We had Brittany Lynn just featured. We have Jason from Supercast, a new way that podcasts are being used next week or this coming week. We have Kenya Kelly, who talks about Reels and TikTok for Business the week after. Then we have a success story from our community at the end of the month. We have, this has been recorded, by the way. We have Rachel Cook at the beginning of November. Matt Diavella, a special episode on the 11th of November. How to use scarcity and urgency to 10x your sales and marketing with Jack Bourne in November. And then a Thanksgiving special at the end. Scrolling down. Let's see, this one was just recorded with Casanova Brooks. This one we're recording next week. And these are a couple solo episodes. So we seem to be 2 months ahead of schedule right now on SPI. On Ask Pat, we are recorded essentially the same. So it looks like we're recorded about 2 months ahead of time right now, which is cool. I love this, Pat. Thank you for sharing. Do you have a template for this? Is that available on SPI Pro? My latest video is about this and how you can create this template. I don't have a template available here. I do have one in my course that I share with people that has the calendar and everything filled out, as you can see here. But it's easy to create these things, and if you watch that video, it'll be created very simply. What's up, Samson? You made it. Was worried about you, my friend, but I'm glad you're here. Isha by Design, question. If you have affiliate links in my description to different programs, how do I make a disclaimer in YouTube video? Thanks. So in the description itself is where you make the disclaimer. If you happen to mention the affiliate link in the video itself, mention in the video itself that it is an affiliate link. If you share the actual link, so if I share smartpassiveincome.com/convertkit with you, I have to tell you that that is an affiliate link, and I do get a commission if you go through that. That no extra cost to you, and of course, if you have any questions about ConvertKit, you can let me know. It's typically what I say when it comes to an affiliate link, if I say that affiliate link live. Otherwise, I would say, oh, and there are links to these products below in the description. That's all I need to say, because I'm not sharing the link in the video. then in the description, I need to be very upfront with the fact that, okay, these links here are links that go to Amazon. These are part of the Amazon Associates program, and I get paid a commission if you go through them at no extra cost to you. Here's the link. And then boom, 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 boom. Aditya, how are you? I was thinking to tell you why you don't make a new channel for your #1 hour types of videos and keep this main channel for videos like 10 minutes or less. Might help with algorithm. You know, I don't care about the algorithm. I'm just going to keep going because this is a channel where I want people to find my short videos and come to the live. I want people who are live to go to the short videos. And although that may not be the right move, it's easier for me to manage, and that's, you know, it's all helpful content. So that's kind of what I'm at right now. Cool, we got time for about 1 or 2 more questions. So again, thank you so much for these questions today. This has been really great. Let's see, we talked about that already. Oh, we're doing pretty good with these questions, actually. Video complete, just Samson and in draft. Oh my God, long process. Like it this way, Pat. I'm loving the short videos. I should be doing the same for my clients. Thank you. Oh, I love my my grandma's cooking. I say grandma goodies. She's cooking chicken and dumplings, cornbread, peas, and squash. I'm in the South right now and loving it. That sounds amazing. Doug says, love having all your videos, one easy place to find. Yeah, I might take clips from these. I know I took clips from these before, but I think setting them up a little bit more differerly and having them be a little bit more packaged. For example, that little moment in the middle, somebody asked a question about the top 5 mistakes. I think that was, who was that, Marla? She had asked a question about the top 5 mistakes that entrepreneurs are making. And if I just kind of go in and pull that out and turn that into its own video, it'll be probably really easy and it'll be able to be reached by more people. And people who did see that already might be nicely reminded about that and then want to share it. So there's some benefits there to pull clips out from the show. I had the clips pulled out and put on another channel, which did grow. But now I'm imagining, wow, what if people found that and just stuck around here? Would that be easier? How much focus do you have on blogging anymore, says Kathy? We still have quite a bit of focus. A lot of that focus is being managed and absorbed by my team. There's a particular member of my team, Karen. She is managing and in charge of the blog, and we are using the blog for going back and updating older content that is ranking in the middle of Google to hopefully rank them higher. That's number 1. Number 2, we are offering space on our blog for success stories for people who are in our audience. There's been a number of success stories. Make sure to check out the one from Josh Hall recently. And then finally, we will be continually writing articles that are very high pillar articles. Like we have a webinar guide coming out, which is multiple chapters coming out very soon. It's just not as consistent anymore because we found that we were getting such little results with the lower level or not so deep content that we were trying to force every week. Now we'd much rather go, you know what? Let's not even do those anymore. When we publish, we want them to be big and strong. What's the biggest lesson learned after 207 days in, says K-Walk? The biggest lesson learned is just how powerful community is. How powerful community is for energy. You are what inspired me to wake up every day and do this, and how the energy of the crowd is and how y'all can help each other. I've seen amazing relationships built here. I've seen amazing partnerships form, and how valuable it is for me to have access to you. Not just for you to have access to me, but for me to have access to you. I share new ideas and I get an immediate sense of feedback on those things. I will brainstorm with you and you will come up and with hundreds of brains in the room all talking about a specific topic. I learn from you just as much as you learn from me. And I think that wasn't necessarily surprising, but I'm very grateful that it's happened so fast here. All right, I'm gonna take one more question that I saw. Pat, if I wanted to hire people for Consult a Blind Guy, should I change the brand name to the Consult the Blind Guy instead of to be inclusive of women? So if I wanted to hire people for Consult a Blind Guy, should I change the brand name to Consult the Blind instead to be inclusive of women? Consult the Blind versus Consult a Blind Guy. That does, so to be honest, when I read your name, Consult the Blind Guy, for me, it makes it, for me, it has this sense of, well, you're the blind guy and you're kind of taking us on this journey with you. Versus if it was consult the blind, I like that in terms of it is definitely more inclusive, and whether you're a guy, gal, old, young, whatever, blind is the connector versus the blind guy. Who is the blind guy? What is the blind guy? What do they do? Who is this for? Versus the blind, sure, I think that makes sense. If you wanted to hire people, though, I think that doesn't necessarily matter. You could keep it as your brand. This is the brand that you've built. You have this YouTube channel and brand already. So I don't think that I don't think it would stunt you from hiring who you want to hire. So yeah, that's just my initial thought. For those who are asking about BLM, the organization, I'm not donating to them anymore, just FYI. Let's see. How do we exactly find a specific topic in the income stream? So much great info. I think the best way would be to use the search algorithm within YouTube. So Pat Flynn, the income stream, affiliate marketing. Pat Flynn, the income stream, email marketing. Pat Flynn, the income stream, whatever. So I think that is what we could do. So anyway, thank you so much. I appreciate you for today. Tomorrow, we're going to have a brand new topic and go deep into it like we do on the weekdays. So I have to head out, and I will say have an amazing Sunday. Stay well rested. If you happen to be sick or not feeling good, get better soon. I appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Tomorrow, we are going to be starting. Let me get my calendar up because it's just been wacky since school has started. Tomorrow, we're going to go 8:30 a.m. And it looks to be like that's going to be the case except for Wednesday, but for the rest of the week, 8:30 a.m. Pacific. Cool. 8:30 a.m. There we go. I'll see you tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 11:30 a.m. Eastern. I appreciate you so much. I appreciate you so much. I appreciate you so much. Thank you again for being awesome. Take care and have an amazing day. Thank you, Quaranteam. Love you much.
This is the income stream to help you achieve your dream. All while we keep it clean. This is the income stream. It's the kind of show where you can come and go, but then you leave inspired with no fee required. The income stream with Pat Flynn.
Right, y'all, great day. Thank you so much for this morning. I am re-energized. Woke up a little bit late, right before the stream, in fact, but fun Q&A day. Grateful that I had the chance to answer some of your questions, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care, y'all. Peace out.
Bruh.